Welcome to the RadioU podcast. I'm Hudson.
And I'm Allie.
Coming up, what happens when you swallow an AirPod?
Also, Officer Al E. Gator is on the case.
All that and more on the way next. History was made in the NBA Finals last night, and you probably went to bed. 8772 RadioU or the talkback button in the RadioU app. And if you went to bed at halftime, you're thinking, oh, what, the Spurs had the biggest margin of victory in a finals game ever?
No, the Knicks had that earlier.
The Knicks pulled off the biggest NBA Finals single game comeback in history.
29-point deficit.
Yeah.
Crazy.
They were the Spurs were hitting every single three-pointer they took just about in the first half. They were up by over 20 points at halftime, and it seemed like it was over. And if you're a Knicks fan, I'm sure the fans were booing. I'm sure there's a lot of people probably thinking like,
here we go, series tied.
This is what the Knicks do. They got closer than ever this time, but they're just going to break our hearts. And this team battled back to pull off historic comeback.
Right. And in this playoffs, I feel like now this is what you can say, this is what the Knicks do. Because they just keep pulling it off. They just keep coming back. They will not let up. OG Anunoby hits a shot with 1.2 seconds left to win the game. It's insane, the clutch shooting they've been getting. And yeah, in normal years, you would say this is what the Knicks do as far as like, they would let the Spurs win 2 games at MSG, and then the series is tied or whatever. But this playoff run that they've been on, they just keep showing they do not give up and do not give up on them.
This is the NBA Finals that changes the course of history. It turns the Knicks from the perennial losers and sad saps, and they just find a way to throw it away even when they sometimes seem to have a chance, to now they you can never count them out.
Yeah.
And meanwhile, it's changing the course of it because it's turning Victor Wembanyama also into a villain because obviously he's hated at MSG just because he's the opponent, but he keeps getting these flagrant fouls.
Yeah.
Did you see last night? He got a flagrant against Karl Anthony Towns in the second half. If that foul against Jalen Brunson in game 3, which they reviewed later and still didn't upgrade to a flagrant, if that was a flagrant foul, he would be suspended.
Yeah, he'd be done.
So he's obviously become a villain. So this is before he gets his first NBA championship, I feel like now the tide has turned against him. And then no historic comeback can be complete without a historic collapse as well.
Yeah.
And it culminated for the Spurs with De'Aaron Fox making one of the all-time dumb plays that even gave the Knicks a chance to get that game-winning tip-in from OG Anunoby as we were down to 1 second left.
Yeah.
De'Aaron Fox, the Knicks were trying to get a shot off with about 20 seconds left. They turned it over. De'Aaron Fox is, breaking away. He's the closest one to the basket, but there's less than 20 seconds left. He can run out the clock or the Knicks have to foul him, but he inexplicably goes up for a layup, which gets blocked. Yeah. And so that gives the Knicks the ball back. What was he thinking?
Not thinking. Not clearly.
He used to playing with the Kings where none of the games matters.
Well, and
I guess I don't know.
That's the crazy part about this series is it's like there's been now at least 3 games that I would consider the Spurs 100% should have won them. This series should be over. The Knicks should have been swept by the Spurs.
Yeah, actually, I was thinking that last night at halftime because it's like, why were we so sure? We were here after game 2 going, are the Spurs cooked? Is this going to be a sweep? And it's like, why are we so sure?
Like the Spurs have had every opportunity to win each of these games, and they've only won one of them.
Yeah.
That's what's insane to me.
This is, some of it definitely is the playoff inexperience coming back to bite them. They got further than many teams do, but that... It usually,
and it's just the luck. The Knicks have luck. I can't even explain it. They are lucky right now.
That's what their coach Mike Brown said. He said you have to get lucky, but you also have to make your own luck.
Yes, and make shots.
The Knicks, you're down 29 points. You can give up on making luck for tonight. You're like, all right, we'll get them in game 5, but
they don't give up.
They did not give up. So this is amazing. A trailer dropped yesterday for The Social Reckoning. And you have to see this, 8772 Radio U, or the talkback button in the Radio U app. This is a sequel to the Oscar-nominated, Oscar-winning, I think, movie from years ago, The Social Network, all about the origins of Facebook.
Jesse Eisenberg.
Yes. And so when I saw this movie was coming out, The Social Reckoning, it's literally a sequel. It's actually made by Aaron Sorkin, who made the first one as well, The Social Network. And so then I'm like, why isn't Jesse Eisenberg playing Mark Zuckerberg?
Oh, that's that's a miss.
I don't know why, or I didn't know why until I saw this trailer, and I'm like, oh, because Jeremy Strong is Mark Zuckerberg. His whatever he's doing with his method acting madness, he sounds and like has the everything. Obviously, he doesn't look exactly like Mark Zuckerberg, but he has nailed Mark Zuckerberg. He's absolutely nailed it to a T.
Okay.
He could be on the phone. I guess it's actually easier to fake things on the phone, but still, he could be a body double for Mark Zuckerberg. Like everything about him, he is nailed. It's looking
That is wild. I'm looking at the trailer right now here in the background because I haven't even seen this, and I didn't even know this movie was coming out.
No, I didn't know they were doing this either. But the cat, obviously Jeremy Strong, I'm telling you.
Yeah, no, it's true. He does look very on point.
Yeah, even with his hair being different, and obviously he doesn't look exactly like Mark Zuckerberg. Even he kind of looks like him. They show like a silhouette of him one time, and it's like, is that Mark Zuckerberg? But it's not. But the way his voice and the way he talks, it's blowing my mind.
Yeah.
And then but the rest of the cast is also like really good.
Yeah.
You get Jeremy Allen White from The Bear and Springsteen and whatever else. And my favorite, the Iron Claw. Also, Mikey Madison, who just won an Oscar, is in it as well. Bill Burr.
Yeah. Why is Bill Burr here?
He keeps coming up, like, he doesn't show up in a lot of movies, but he keeps coming up in, like, these prestige movies. He was in, I think, a Martin Scorsese movie recently or something like that. Yeah.
That's so weird that he's getting into acting.
I didn't know. Yeah, right. I didn't know they were making this, but I am, like, this is going to be a great movie. Right?
It might be. It kind of looks Oscar baity, similar to the Social Network. I think that's what Alan Sorkin would be going for. And so, while it doesn't look like it would be, a popcorn movie, it looks like it might be kind of depressing to watch.
Yeah, I think so, because they're talking about like this. The events of the movie are when Facebook got where there was the leak to the Wall Street Journal, and so Facebook was like trying to present this and whatever, and then knowing they were going to go before Congress and blah 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 and have the hearings. So it's kind of that whole thing where there was the big scandal about Facebook prioritizing growth and profits over misinformation and mental health and stuff.
And
like
this is the one problem I have with this movie is when Alan Sorkin made The Social Network, that was the start of Facebook, and so we got to see the behind the scenes of that.
Yeah.
The problem with The Social Reckoning is there's been many reckonings for Facebook.
Yeah.
So many scandals they've been a part of as Meta, as Mark Zuckerberg, that choosing one of them just feels almost disingenuous.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because it's like, this really isn't that big of a moment anymore. Because there's been so many things that have happened since then.
I mean, spoiler alert, I feel like that's going to, like, the movie is going to walk away, like you said, making you feel depressed because this is going to remind you of all the bad information and all the stuff behind the scenes of how Facebook is just, sucking everybody dry and not caring about us at all.
Yeah.
And how that's making the world a worse place. And then at the end of the movie, it's just going to be like, and they got away with it.
And they got away with it. Yeah,
because
there really is no reckoning here.
No,
what do you mean reckoning?
But I'm sure it's not going to make Mark Zuckerberg look very good, though. So.
Yeah, I mean, he does that on his own. He doesn't need any help from Alan Sorkin to look bad.
I hope it has that scene where Mark Zuckerberg was like on that thing, like it's not a surfboard, but that like hoverboard thing in the water.
Yeah.
Feeling like he's looking like $1 million, and he actually looks like the biggest goober of all time. Let's love him or leave him on Radio U mornings. We need your advice for this situation at 877-2 Radio U or with the talkback button in the Radio U app. The subject line for this case is fiance wants to invite her ex to the wedding.
Oh. Oh.
This is very well written.
Okay.
I'm surprised at this guy's ability to just like construct this story.
Yeah.
You know, I could learn a thing or two, but he needs our help. 8772 Radio U or the talkback button in the Radio U app. Fiance wants to invite her ex to the wedding. He says the subject line pretty much says it all, but not quite. Here's some relevant context. My fiance and I have been together almost 4 years and engaged for 8 months. She's the love of my life and everything any guy could ever wish for in a partner. I and others would describe her as friendly, smart, caring, ambitious, and attentive. Our plans for the future align. We're able to calmly and constructively work out conflict. Things couldn't be better. Except that we recently started really locking down wedding plans, and the guests she won't budge on include her mom, sister, best friend,
Makes
and
sense.
ex.
Whoa.
See, well written, I'm telling you. Now, my fiance and her ex have been in contact for the entire duration of our relationship. She was always very open with me about their communications. They were together for 3 years, partially long distance. She moved to another country for him at one point.
Wow.
Suffice to say, they were big parts of each other's lives in their late teens and early 20s. And I would say especially hers as she moved away from her family and friends to be with him.
I would say so.
He doesn't cover this here. I want to know why they broke up.
Yeah.
Why aren't they together?
How did the breakup happen?
Or are they? I've never chided her for a connection to him. As far as I know, nothing between them has gone further than friendly chats and calls. They keep each other updated on their lives and any big developments, but sometimes call for hours and chat about anything.
For hours?
Hours, he said. Who do you call for hours?
Yeah, that's a red flag. I'm sorry.
She has called him one of her closest friends to me directly. Recently, we have been trying to narrow down our guest list, and when talking about who we really can't live without inviting, she mentioned him. I tried to tell her I don't see the point in inviting him because he lives in another country, and besides, he's her ex. She got upset, left the room for some alone time, and we haven't talked about wedding plans since.
Wow.
I don't know what it is, but I'm not fully comfortable with the idea of her ex being at all involved in our wedding. I've never met the guy.
Whoa.
I've never thought this before, but part of me wonders if she still has underlying feelings for him and hopes he stands up when objections are requested. I have no real reasoning for this. And what do I do? 8772 Radio U or the talkback button in the Radio U app. I mean, I do think you've seen too many movies.
Yeah, it sounds very dramatic, but also
that doesn't happen in real life. I don't even know if they do that at weddings anymore.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever experienced that, like that question or whatever.
Yeah. But nevertheless, like, your concern's valid.
Yeah, your concerns are valid because while you are a little dramatic in your descriptions, this is still something to be concerned about.
Yes.
And so, we need to give some good advice here.
All right. Madly in love. Everything seems to be going good, except you've been together for 4 years, except she wants to invite her ex to the wedding.
She talks to him for hours on the phone.
But he lives in another country.
Yeah.
8772 Radio U or the talkback button in the Radio U app. What is your advice for this love 'em or leave 'em situation? Radio U, where music is going, 8772 Radio U, or use the talkback button in the Radio U app to help out with this love 'em or leave 'em situation. We need your advice. Guy emailed in. The subject line is, my fiance wants to invite her ex to the wedding. And even he says the title pretty much says it all, but the context is everything seems to be going great. They've been together for 4 years. They're engaged. It seems perfect, except she's been talking to her ex who lives in another country this entire time. She's not kept that a secret at all, but now she will not budge on he needs to be invited to the wedding. Our guy, uncomfortable with this. He's never met him.
Yeah.
And she actually kind of stormed out of the room when he was like, maybe we cut the ex from the wedding list and we're trying to make
he was just
cuts.
telling her how he felt. He feels uncomfortable with this.
And she needed alone time after that.
Yeah.
What's the move? 8772 Radio U or the talkback button in the Radio U app.
We heard from Regina. She says you need to be honest with her about your feelings. If she truly loves you, she should give you this. And her ex should really understand the situation and not be offended by you not wanting him there whatsoever.
Yeah.
Yes, 100%. She should be willing to put you first and willing to compromise here with something that makes you this uncomfortable.
Yeah, and Regina pointed out the ex's feelings, but quite frankly, who cares?
Yeah, who cares
about the
ex?
ex's feelings? Clearly your fiance.
Yeah.
Rick's,
which is the problem.
Rick literally says, clearly she still has feelings for him. They share a bond that won't go away. I hate to say this, but this will come back and haunt your marriage. You need to get counseling, and she needs to move on now, or she might never.
Yes, that's very, very valid. You got to cut the ties a little bit, because it's just, there's always going to be that thought in the back of your guys' minds, particularly you, as like thinking whenever you get in a fight or whenever there's a moment of just like tension, you're like, is she thinking about the ex?
Yeah.
You don't want that. Cullen says, my wife and I don't talk to any exes. I even go out of my way to not talk to other women. I married the one and only one I need. If a relationship makes your spouse or soon to be spouse uncomfortable, it really is worth holding on to?
Yeah, that's what she should be thinking right now.
Yeah.
I feel that, like, I wish I knew why they broke up. Like, what is the explanation for this? Because I think that's a major part of it. But also, like, I guess what I think is, it would be one thing if you knew this guy. What if he was like your friend? You know, like if there was some kind of relationship. But the fact that you've never met him before, you can't meet your fiance's ex at your wedding.
Yeah, that's crazy.
That's an insane sentence to say that could play out in real life. So I definitely have some, I tend to think that when you break up, more often than not, you should just, like, that should be it. Like, either you guys are together or you never talk to each other ever again. There's rare instances where it's like, okay, you guys can be friends. And so there's rare instances where maybe the ex could even be at the wedding, but not the instance where you've never met him before.
Right.
I don't need to know anything else besides you should not be meeting your fiance's ex at your wedding.
Yeah, 100%. Tim also chimed in here. He says, clearly they have a ton of trust with one another. Since it's a big deal to him, he said, talk to his fiance about it. Maybe they just grew up together, maybe. But
yeah, he mentioned they had been together since
they were teens. Yeah. So like the formative years. Tim also mentioned that he does the Mike Pence rule of not being in a room alone with the woman with the door closed because he's married. I think that's actually the Billy Graham rule. I think Billy Graham was who made that popular. But that might be a good one to follow. It's not that they're in a room by themselves.
I'm breaking the rule.
Oh, yeah. Well, everybody else is.
Yeah, that's right. This is a very open room. But yeah. If you do start from that point, though, of going, I trust you. You've been able to talk to this guy for 4 years, and I've never made an issue out of it. But this is kind of a line for me. I think, if you go from that angle and she's still going to give you a hard time about it and, need alone time or whatever it is, that's a massive, you can't go forward, I don't think.
She needs to be willing to put you first because that's what you got to do in a relationship.
Right. That's the point of the marriage.
Yeah.
So, tough conversation that it sounds like you've already kind of started to have.
Yeah.
Definitely needs to happen, but hey, it wouldn't be love him or leave him if it was just like, just ignore it.
Right. Do not ignore it.
Email mornings@radiou.com with your love him or leave him. I'll open up the RadioU hotline here.
877-2-RADIO-U.
Asking, what is the worst thing you've ever swallowed?
A worst thing.
877-2-RADIO-U, or use the talkback button in the RadioU app. The worst thing you ever swallowed, or just the worst thing you've ever accidentally put in your body. Because I actually have a story about my brother with that. But the reason I ask is because a woman has documented her situation where she accidentally swallowed an AirPod.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Her story is that she had one of her AirPods. It was in like a handful of vitamins. She was running out the door. They were all on the counter. She grabbed a handful, swallowed the vitamins, and then realized that one of them seemed a little too big, and it was an AirPod.
And she kept going.
And it was too late. What are you going to do?
Oh, no.
Well, what she did is what I guess you should do is she called poison control.
Yeah.
And my favorite part of this whole thing is she called poison control, and they said, how old is the child? And she said, 31. I'm the child.
It's me. I'm the child.
I am the child. And they told her, what goes in must come out. Everything, an AirPod will pass on its own. And so just Give it 2 to 4 days, and sure enough, that is what happened.
Yeah.
But what's crazy is her AirPod paired with her iPhone from inside.
Did you play
body.
music in her digestive system?
I would have. You have to do that, right? You would have to. You have to test that out. See if you could hear it from your, esophagus.
My music has been where no one has been before.
Yeah. So I don't know if you've had anything close to swallowing an AirPod. If so, you probably should have documented that on TikTok like she did.
It would have gone viral.
Yeah. You know what's crazy? I don't know everybody else's stories, but I do know that our very own JR, who's coming up on the show a little later this morning to talk about the World Cup.
Right.
He almost had this situation happen to him.
Swallowed an AirPod?
Yes, because he sleeps. I don't know if he still does this, but he would sleep with his AirPods in.
Oh.
And one time it fell out of his ear and
went into the open mouth.
To wind up going into the open mouth, and so he didn't swallow it, but he did wake up with his AirPod all chewed from him chewing on it.
Oh no.
So I guess he grinds his teeth also.
Yikes. But that could have been really bad. You could choke on that or something. I
guess you could. Yeah. What a way to go. So,
yeah. Choked on the AirPods. Man.
I don't know if anybody else has worse things that have,
I'll have to think about it because I don't.
Swallowed, gone in their body.
Nothing's coming to mind. So I'll have to think if there's any memories.
8772 Radio U or the talkback button in the Radio U app to let us know your story, the worst thing you've ever accidentally swallowed or otherwise gotten into your body. Radio U, where music is going, we have the Radio U hotline open.
8772 Radio U.
Or you could also use the talkback button in the Radio U app to let us know the worst thing you've ever accidentally swallowed or otherwise gotten into your body. This is because a woman has documented on TikTok how she accidentally swallowed her AirPod. It got mixed into a handful of vitamins that she was taking, and she didn't realize till it was too late. And then it passed 2 to 4 days later, which, by the way, definitely says a lot about the quality of products that Apple makes, right? That the AirPod could pass through.
And just stay together?
Yes.
Did it still work after?
Would you test that?
Maybe not in my ear, but I would. I would at least try and play music off of it.
Yeah. I mean, it paired with her iPhone from inside, but I don't know if she actually tested it after it had gone all the way through.
Yeah.
Regina said that is a crazy episode of the Magic School Bus.
Yeah.
She said her worst thing she ever swallowed was a piece of chip that was too big and at the wrong angle.
Oh my gosh, we've all done that. That's the worst when you feel it stuck there, you're just like, oh gosh, or you can't breathe.
That when the popcorn kernel gets stuck on the very back of your where your tongue turns into your throat. That's the worst. That's the worst. We also heard from Cullen, who says, playing Bean Boozled and ate the stink bug bean. To this day, I can't drink orange Coke because it reminds me of the lingering flavor.
Yikes. At least that's an easy flavor of Coke to, avoid.
Right. And so far, both of these are actual things that you still would eat.
Yeah.
Even though,
still edible.
Yeah. Allie, do you have any good ones?
I can't really think of anything that's super bad, like an AirPod or anything. Mm-hmm. Maybe when I was a child, there's something that I just don't remember. And maybe my mom could tell me oh yeah, you swallowed this one time. Or we thought maybe you swallowed something bad. But I feel like maybe just, accidentally a fish bone or something.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I think I've accidentally swallowed bugs before. You're riding a bike and a
I've definitely had bugs fly into my mouth, but I don't know if I've ever swallowed them.
I've also intentionally eaten bugs before.
I have done that.
For Radio U. And none of that was as bad as the time I ate broccoli for Radio U.
Yeah, you almost threw up on the air.
I'm telling you, that was one of the worst things
Check that out on Radio U Mornings on Instagram.
But talking about the worst stuff ever in your body by accident.
Yeah.
This is not me, but this is my brother. But I was involved in this. We were growing up. I would say we were 6. I was 6. He was 4. My mom took us to a VBS at a church we didn't even go to.
Oh, wow.
And I made a craft there, 6 years old or so, where it was there's multicolored yarn and we wrapped it around a pencil.
Yeah.
And then, great craft, right? And then at the end of the yarn, we had to add little beads to it and then tie a knot to keep the beads on. And that was the end of the, whatever, where the yarn went up at the top of the eraser. And we got home and my 4-year-old brother somehow got one of those beads off of the end of the pencil, this craft that I had made. And then he, of course, what you would do with it, sticks it up his nose. And it got stuck there. It was too high up for him to get it out, for my mom to get it out.
Did the doctor have to pull it out?
Yes, but mind you, this was during the day. And my dad was at work, and we only had one car, so my dad had it at work. So my mom, fortunately, we lived in a small town, the kind of small town where you could walk to the doctor.
Oh.
But it was like over a mile away. And we had another brother who was a baby, so my mom had to take 3 of us.
Oh, your poor mom.
Walk to the doctor in the summertime to the doctor for him to remove this bead. But he could still breathe.
Yeah.
It's like we should have just waited.
Yeah.
We should have just waited. He could still breathe.
Yeah.
All right, you know how this goes. First to worst Thursday, Allie and I have a topic. We pick the first and worst choices from said topic, and then you decide and let us know at 8772-RADIO-U or with the talkback button in the Radio U app who chose better and which picks we just missed completely. Today's topic, with the World Cup starting today, is soccer movies. This has proven to be a much more difficult task than I expected it to be when we realized this was going to be our topic.
Yeah, it has been. I did decide on 2, and both of them, weirdly enough, happen to be rom-coms.
Oh, really? Okay.
But like soccer is like a big focus in the movie, like the main thing. And so for first, one of my favorite movies. And
Are you going to go first? No, you can go.
What? No, I'm going first.
All right, go ahead.
Why not? It says soccer
yeah,
movies
it's your
out
turn.
first.
It's your turn. Go ahead. I was ready to go first.
You went first last time.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay. For first, I am going with She's the Man.
Okay.
Starring Amanda Bynes and Channing Tatum. Amanda Bynes pretends to be her twin brother and plays soccer on a men's soccer team and falls in love with her teammate, who is Channing Tatum. And it's just a fun movie with lots of hijinks and one of my favorite lines in a movie ever, which is, "Do you like cheese?" And so, yeah, I love that movie.
Okay.
And for worst, I am going with another rom-com, which truly is one of the worst I've ever seen. It's starring Gerard Butler, and it's called Playing for Keeps, and it is really bad.
Isn't that a 808 song?
I don't know.
Yeah, I think it is.
I don't know, but this movie came out in like 2012, and it was awful. Very forgettable.
Solid choices. I was ready to go, so I'm ready now.
Yes. I can't believe you didn't remember. You are the one who typed first, Allie.
I was looking at other things. For first, I'm going with Kicking and Screaming, starring Will Ferrell and, importantly, Mike Ditka. I don't know what other movies Mike Ditka has ever been in, but he was in Kicking and Screaming, and so it's really fun to see him be a complete goofball in that movie. And it also has a line that, if you ranked Will Ferrell movies, if we did first to worst Will Ferrell movies, Kicking and Screaming is nowhere near the top, but it's still fun. But
good.
It does have one line that I think about fairly often, and that is, "I'm like a tornado of anger swirling about." I think about that a lot. For worst, I'm going with a movie called United Passions, The Birth of the World Cup. This came out in 2014. It was 90% funded by FIFA.
Oh, of course, it's terrible then.
It's not even a documentary, though. This is a drama starring Tim Roth and Gerard Depardieu. I wish I knew what the budget was. Let's see if I can find any idea. $32 million.
Okay, decent.
It made $918 in its opening weekend.
Yikes.
It is.
Was it released during COVID?
No, this was 2014.
2014. Okay, yeah.
2015. I'm sorry. It premiered at Cannes in 2014.
At Cannes?
The Cannes Film Festival.
Okay.
It grows $918, and it's for $918.
Yeah.
In its first week. It's basically FIFA propaganda.
Yeah, I was going to say that just sounds like it's a propaganda piece.
Yeah. So that is the worst soccer movie of all time, I
Sounds
think.
pretty bad.
Just wanted to remind everybody of that on the day that the FIFA World Cup kicks off.
They made a terrible movie.
8772-RADIO-U or the talkback button in the Radio U app. Now, we need to hear from you on our first to worst soccer movies. Which picks did we completely miss and who picked better? Allie went first because it was her turn to go go first. And your choices were?
I went with She's the Man for first, and I went with Playing for Keeps for worst.
I have Kicking and Screaming with Will Ferrell as first, and United Passions, a FIFA-funded film, for worst. Let us know your thoughts. We'll see what people are saying coming up. Radio U, where music is going, 8772 Radio U, or the talkback button in the Radio U app. Share your thoughts on today's first to worst, which is all about soccer movies, with the World Cup kicking off later today. And we actually have JR, who's a soccer fanatic, coming up on the show in about 20 minutes to give a World Cup preview. But for first to worst, we did soccer movies. Allie, your picks?
I went with She's the Man for first, and I went with Playing for Keeps for worst.
And I have Kicking and Screaming with Will Ferrell and Mike Ditka as first. A hesitant first because I had a hard time finding one. And then for worst, I have a movie called United Passions starring Tim Roth and Gerard Depardieu. That came out in 2015. That was FIFA propaganda, basically.
Poor Tim Roth. Why did he get suckered into that?
Exactly. A lot of responses coming in.
Yeah.
We might have some soccer movies to check out, perhaps.
It's true. Daniel texted in and he gave us his soccer movie, Green Street Hooligans.
Okay.
Never heard of it.
Never heard of it. We also heard from Charles, who says, I agree with you both. She's the Man is a classic, and that FIFA film is just a psyop.
We heard from Susanna. She says, only one I've seen is She's the Man, and I didn't like it, so I guess I'm voting for Hudson by default. Bend It Like Beckham is obviously the best. I almost chose Bend It Like Beckham, but I've only seen it like twice, and She's the Man is a movie that I've like gone back to. So I'm like, I have to pick the one that I actually like rewatching.
The first soccer movie that just comes to mind is Bend It Like Beckham, but that doesn't mean it's my favorite.
Right.
Cullen says, the best soccer movie is Shaolin Soccer. The worst soccer movie is Shaolin Soccer.
Hilarious.
But if I had to side with who was more right, it would be Hudson.
All right.
Thank you, Colin.
William says, I'm going with Hudson because I've only heard of Kicking and Screaming out of all the movies that were mentioned.
It's crazy going through how like actually few, because did we do baseball or we did fictional basketball players?
Yeah, we fictional basketball players.
And there's so many basketball movies.
So many to choose from.
And there's hardly any like well-known soccer movies.
Yeah.
I guess that's because soccer isn't as big here in the United States.
Yeah.
And we make most of the movies.
We make a lot of films.
But still, like soccer is such a historic sport. There's got to be so many. There's more like good ping pong movies now than there are
Marty Supreme
soccer movies. Regina says, going with Allie for She's the Man. Such a fun movie and love the use of the All-American Rejects music in the film. One of my favorite lines is, be a man, rub some dirt in it.
Yes, rub some dirt in it. We also heard from Jacob. He says, I've not seen either of the worst films, but I have seen Kicking and Screaming and She's the Man. While I do enjoy both, I have seen She's the Man a lot more, therefore siding with Allie.
Thomas says, gotta go with Will Ferrell, so going with Hudson. She's the Man sounds like a knockoff of Ladybugs.
Oh, yeah, that was like the drag movie from like the 90s.
I don't know. It's Rodney Dangerfield.
Yeah, he was like I think he did drag in that.
That was the only, when I was looking through soccer movies, I've never seen that.
Yeah.
But that was the only one where I was like, I might want to watch that.
He becomes a coach of like a really bad girls team, like a youth girls team, but he like does drag. I'm pretty sure.
I have to see this. I have to see Ladybugs.
But She's the Man is not a knockoff of Ladybugs, like not even close. Tim also texted in. He says, only one I remember seeing is Next Goal Wins. I don't usually walk out of the films, but this one had one of the things that makes me walk out. I regret spending my money.
Wow.
Oh, no. So that sounds like his worst pick.
Yeah. Wow. All right. I definitely feel like we've realized the bench of soccer movies is not strong.
Yeah.
Do you have any honorable mentions?
We need a really good highbrow soccer film, like an Invictus or something.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. There's like better cricket movies than soccer, right? What's that
Invictus is rugby.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Soccer definitely underrepresented. I'm actually going to say.
Yeah. I do think out of all of them, like critically considered, Bend It Like Beckham probably is the best critically.
This is an amazing video. We can send it to you. Text the word Gator to 8772 Radio U. Why Gator? Because a gator helped police apprehend a DUI suspect. And believe it or not, this was not in Florida. 8772.
Where was it? Oh, Louisiana.
Yeah, in Louisiana, it was a reckless driver. They suspect that he, had been drinking.
Oh my
And the driver, he struck a concrete barrier, damaged his vehicle. Officers were pursuing him when they attempted to take him into to custody. He fled on foot and made a critical mistake in Louisiana, Florida, anywhere that has, in the South with bodies of water. He went into a swampy area.
And jumped into the water.
And
this isn't like knee-high water. This is like a pond.
Yeah, this is a real swamp.
Yeah.
And a gator attacks him. Fortunately, obviously, he didn't die.
Yeah.
Because many people have experienced that. But for him, the gator did attack him, injured both of his arms. The police got it on their body cam footage, of course, and they, I guess the lesser of two evils, rather than be chewed to death by an alligator, he wound up.
Would much rather go to jail.
Yeah, wound up going to jail instead.
Like, come on, bro. What were you? He must have been clearly just not thinking straight because being intoxicated or whatever. So, wow. The one thing I wish was better was the body cam footage. What is up with this body cam?
It's not the greatest footage, and the video I have didn't have any sound, unfortunately.
Yeah, we want to hear the screams.
Right. Exactly. Exactly. What was he saying? But I sincerely wonder if it was like so bad, like the cursing or whatever.
Yeah,
that it's just like, let's just strike this all.
I'm sure the police
can't have this on a reputable news site.
Yeah, it truly is an insane video.
Yeah. But in a way, you're like, between Florida and Louisiana, whatever, you're kind of like, I'm surprised if it doesn't happen possibly more often.
Right.
People thinking that they can escape from the cops, because I've watched live PD or whatever they call it now. People in Florida are running all the time.
Yeah, people run away from the cops a lot.
So much more than you realize.
Yeah.
It seems like every weekend.
Yeah.
Somebody's trying
to run away, and inevitably they get caught. But this is the most insane way that I've ever seen someone get caught.
Yeah.
I'm like, that alligator, hire him.
Yeah, give him a badge.
He's not a canine, so what would he be? He's not a canine officer. A gator officer, but that just sounds kind of boring.
Officer Al E. Gator.
That's perfect.
It's on the case. Is it too early to say that 2026 is an amazing year for movies? I think last year was kind of mid, right?
Last year I remember when Sinners came out, that was the big thing. And people were like, wow, it's kind of shocking that a horror movie is the best reviewed movie. Yeah. And it feels kind of repeat-ish this year because the best reviewed films have been horror movies this year.
Yeah.
But
I just think last year it was a down year.
Yeah,
it came around to the Oscars and stuff.
Yes. I
and what
agree
was the big blockbuster?
There really wasn't one, but this year, definitely, as we're heading into the summer months, it is about to get crazy with Odyssey, Spider-Man, Supergirl, Toy Story 5. I know there's one I'm forgetting, Moana. There's so many big movies coming out this summer.
8772 Radio U or the talkback button in the Radio U app. Let us know if you think 2026 has been an above average, if not all-time potential.
Let's wait and see how these movies do.
Here's what I was thinking. It's already been so good, and I know you've mentioned to me off the air that there's murmurs that the Odyssey may not be. It might be a rare Christopher Nolan miss. And if it's a miss, it could still be a great year.
Yeah, I was going to say, I don't think it could ever flop. There's no way it's going to do as bad as his worst movie, which was Tenet. Tenet did the worst for him box office-wise.
But that was COVID.
Yeah, and there's just too much working in his favor for this not to be a box office success, but there has been a lot of negative talk around the film, which is surprising because that's very rare for Nolan.
Unusual.
Yeah.
Okay, but the reason I say 2026, great year for movies, is because remember that Project Hail Mary came out in 2026.
Yes, I haven't seen it yet, though.
Everybody loved it. Well, Allie, I have great news for you. Your opportunity to see Project Hail Mary is coming because it's coming streaming soon.
HBO Max?
No. No, not HBO Max.
Okay, what else could it be on?
Well, keep guessing.
Keep guessing? Netflix.
No, not on Netflix.
Okay. Prime?
No, not on Prime.
Okay, it sounded like you weren't sure about that.
It's not
one.
on Prime.
Okay.
Not in the least, unless you want to rent it.
I don't know if I can think of anything at Peacock.
It's not on Peacock.
What are there?
It's coming to a streaming service you can subscribe to on June 18th.
Which one?
In the United States.
It's coming to Quibi. Which one?
Well, you didn't mention Disney Plus, Hulu, whatever.
It's definitely not coming to Disney.
No, it is coming to, starting on June 18th, you can stream Project Hail Mary as part of your...
On Paramount Plus.
Nope.
Oh.
You really feel like you've named them all now, haven't you?
I think I've named all of the ones I've ever had.
Maybe somebody's like, oh, so it's going to be on Tubi and it's going to be free?
Yeah,
also
that's
wrong.
not happening.
Project Hail Mary will make its streaming debut on June 18th, one of the biggest hit movies of the year, and it will be on MGM Plus.
What?
Have you ever heard of MGM Plus?
I have.
Name a show or movie that's on
there
MGM Plus.
There was a show on MGM Plus that I got the subscription for 1 month to watch, and it was all about Billy the Kid. It was a Western.
What did you do, like a free trial for that?
It might have been a free trial, because all I did was got on, watch that show, and then I didn't.
Dang,
I watched nothing else on it.
Did you watch all 3 seasons of Billy the Kid?
No, I didn't even know there were 3 seasons. I watched.
Well, it sounds like you need to fire up your subscription.
I watched
to MGM
the first season. I didn't even know they made more.
There's 3 seasons.
I mean, it was fine. It was a fine Western, but. Yeah.
I also am seeing there's a show called Goliath with Billy Bob Thornton, which I feel kind of sounds vaguely familiar. There's a show called Godfather of Harlem. I believe this stars, who is this guy? I recognize
But isn't MGM connected to Amazon?
Yes. Yes,
why
it is.
is it?
Yeah, Forrest Whitaker, by the way.
Forrest Whitaker, okay.
Is in Godfather of
why
Harlem.
aren't they doing Amazon Prime? Trying to boost the subscriptions for this failing thing called MGM Plus?
That's what I'm guessing is, they're trying to let everybody know that MGM Plus even exists in the first place.
Yeah.
And so they're trying to get you on there.
I do know a free trial is available.
Yep.
That is what I used. So
that's what I was going to let everybody know.
I don't know how long it is anymore.
7-day free trial.
7 days. Okay. I feel like it was longer than that when I tried it, but yeah.
So this is going to do really well, really accomplish the goal of getting people to sign up for a free trial of MGM Plus. And then I bet you some people forget that they started the free trial.
That's the problem. Anytime you guys do that, what I always do, set a reminder on my phone the day before it cancels, starts again. Thanks for listening to the RadioU podcast. Don't forget to rate and review the show.